AI, and bear with me because I'm working with some different cameras and lighting. I feel like I'm back on TV, but anyways, let's get my old-timey notes while we're talking about AI, which is very timely when I tell you this story. And I'd love for you to stay to the end because not only is this going to be, I feel, a great teaching video for you that you will be able to implement right away, but at the end, I'm going to be giving you something so that way it will help you in your business right away and also let you know about something else. Okay, so first of all, I want to tell you a story that I didn't want to talk about for a long time because people knew me in an A-type personality. Even my friend Terry was like, "You're always doing something. You've always got something going on." And when my friend, also Vicky, would say, pick a lane, I'm a creative. And as I listen to other people like Erwin McManus, who write different books, and Gabrielle Brochet, who runs the Purpose Factor, and now she's part of John Maxwell, just an inspiration. We don't have to pick lanes in our life. We can integrate and interfuse things. And that's what I want to share with you about AI. Because a lot of the things that folks are using AI in their life, it's not spitting out what they want it to, listen to me, spit out, but regurgitating. So there's a comment that I want to share with you today. And if you see me looking at two screens, it's just because I'm testing some new technology here, okay? Most important thing is realizing that AI can be your partner. It's not to replace you, it's to complement you. So in 2021, I was having a lot of pain, significant, and it started in my shoulder, and I thought, oh, it's just from my rotator cuff surgery and so forth, and I need another, steroid shot or whatever to get over it. And love kayaking and all that kind of stuff. So, my shoulder would hurt upon occasion. And then it didn't get better. And then other parts of my body started hurting, and that wasn't getting better. So anyways, make a long story short, I ended up with a rheumatologist, and I was in that doctor's office for about 4.5 hours, that one appointment, where they x-rayed all parts of my body and did tests on me and blood work and all that, all in one center. A phenomenal, phenomenal group of doctors there. So I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and also occipital neuralgia, which is different types of headaches that come here. And they are in the same family as migraines, but also I think it's called covogenic headaches, where I also get them here. So anyways, deal with a lot of pain in my life. And for a while, it really shook me to my core. I ended up starting a group, Fibromyalgia Women Warriors, and still have 5,000, women in there because I was looking for solutions. Now, this is really before AI was rolling out. And that's why I want to share with you this story, because it was really hard for me going to the doctors and by 2 p.m. in the afternoon saying, man, I cannot fight my pain anymore. I'm going to bed. And having to turn down big speaking events that I did not want to turn down, that I had gotten invited to, and was like, man, maybe I'll just paint pretty pictures and do collaging and so forth. And while that has been wonderful and my art has taken off and sells in the thousands on my originals, there's a part of me in life that loves business as well. And so everything is a full circle for me. Any day I write, create, sing, teach, and inspire is a great day, okay? So you might be listening to me and thinking, okay, Trish, what does that have to do with AI? You said you were going to teach me. You're just rambling. Here is why. I'm going to give you a framework, because that comment, garbage in and garbage out, is so true. If you go and you say, listen, I want you to write me marketing content for real estate, and it comes back with generic content that any realtor would put out, let's say, it might work a couple of times, But those people who know you, like you, trust you, see you as an authority in your market and specifically where you live, they will start noticing that, wow, that doesn't really sound like her, or he's always sounded different. Why is it changing? And in this window, only 5% of the world population right now is paying for an AI tool such as ChatGPT. So even though you may be using it and thinking that everybody's on the bandwagon and you're missing the opportunity, I'm here to tell you that perception is reality. Your perception is that you're using AI in some way and you're listening to me and you're thinking that everybody else is using it too, so you can just get away with, AI type of content. I will say though, the world is evolving and it's evolving very, very quickly. So what's going to happen is the content that you thought was okay to put out, all of a sudden, it's going to let you down. And it's not AI's fault. And really, it's not your fault either, because you don't necessarily know the dynamics of how AI work. And so with my struggle and my diagnosis, I really wanted to do more in my life. And I hated having to get literally horizontal to lay in bed. My husband would be like, why can't you just use the recliner or whatever? And I said, I can't. Laying down is the best way to re-energize me and replenish me. But laying down, I had my cell phone and you can only watch so much Netflix or, you know, Blind Date or Marriage or The Ultimatum or whatever, stuff is out there. Not that I'm putting it down, but you can only watch so much that kind of stuff when you are a type A personality and you love creating, you love teaching, you love speaking on stage, you love singing with all your heart and all of those wonderful things. Okay. So that's why I started using AI. And while I was on an art tour, I used AI to create some graphics, some posters in conjunction with Canva. And I was loving what I was doing. And that's when I uncovered more technology. During this time, my husband was also in a certification program with the University of North Carolina to get AI certified. And this type of certification wasn't those ones floating around, which there's nothing wrong with that, but this was heavy duty certification, and only 0.5% in the world was using this. And forgive me for moving around a lot. I have ice on my back, which is real life of me dealing with chronic pain. Okay. This is why I have really loved AI and I really wanted to bring this to you, because I did not realize the level of intricate details that I had done for AI to get to know me. Because whenever I first got an AI and I was like, oh, there's this great book writing tool or whatever, it would ask me certain questions and so forth. But what it was regurgitating out was absolutely terrible. It was not the quality of my own books. And however, in groups of Facebook groups that are anti-AI, they were also missing the boat, because AI can be a great editor. It can help you with frameworks. It can help you with other things where you might have a limiting belief on it. Okay. And so it wasn't until really about a month and a half ago where my husband and I were at our mountain house and we were swinging back and forth and we were talking, and he was like, yeah, our company has actually made a rule now that everything is going to be going over to Claude. And I have not used Claude, and I've used ChatGPT, and boy, do I have a learning curve. And what's really hard for me is that it's not uh, helping me recap my emails with my team members, and it doesn't sound like me. It's using different words. It's just not who I am. And I said, well, Kurt, I said, I don't know if you know this or not, but I will share something that I've been stumbling upon and I've been working on, an intensive tool where AI can get to know you better. So that way you are getting the results that you really want, that it will sound like you, it will talk like you, and so forth. So again, it's not fake, it's really you, in the way that you pause, and the way that your tone is used, and the vocabulary that you might use with your team versus the vocabulary that you use with your C-suite. Have you thought about how you can create prompts after you let AI know who you are, what you do, why it matters? And that's a part of Interfusion Marketing when I wrote the book Interfusion Marketing. And I believe that's why AI really came to my heart and my knowledge, is because I was like, you know what? AI is another form of interfusion marketing, because in interfusion marketing in 2014, we talked about brand, website, SEO, social media, and even at one of my continuing education events in real estate, I had said the future of publishing is going to change, where companies are going to become their own publishers. People individually will be becoming their own publishers. So sure enough, that has come to pass, and AI is a big part of what is going to be published out there. So I started sharing this with Kurt about what frameworks he needed to use, and he said, hey, can you give me the questions and the things that you are putting into AI to make my communication and business strategy stronger with our organization and with the requirements that Claude is doing, even though you're using ChatGPT. And I said, absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, here's the questions and so forth. So he was like, man, that is just amazing. He said, did you realize that that could actually be a class? You need to teach other people how to use AI and how to put in their own content. And then they would be able to teach their teams or their employees also, or if they're a standalone business. And I said, wow, I didn't even think about that. So that's what brought me to this video with you today, okay? So I want you to get out your pen and piece of paper. Stay with me, because I'm going to give you these 4 teaching points right now of what you want to do with any AI system that you're using, right? First of all is you don't have to use several different programs if you're getting into AI right now. What I'm going to be teaching you can work for Claude, it can work for ChatGPT, it can work for Perplexity, it can work for all of these frameworks, okay? And you can get comfortable. Now, I will say, the more that you can use one tool instead of spreading yourself out so thin to get to know it and use it, the stronger you will be. So now I'm just starting to use Claude because I've used ChatGPT for a long period of time, and I have really a great relationship with their technology team. Notice that I'm saying AI is my technology partner and team. It is not replacing me. It is acting alongside of me. So even when I'm laying down in bed, I can write in my ChatGPT app and work on classes, workbooks, programs, even video, anything that I want. But again, I've created the foundation. So here are 4 things to help you rise in your knowledge, in your communication, not only with AI, but outward to your folks. Rise. Let's use this analogy, okay, for AI. Number 1 is recognize that your past experience has a lot to put into AI. It has a lot of weight, okay? So think about it this way. You have your past up until now. I could be talking to you and you're 14, or I could be talking to you and you're 44, 54, 64, 24. It does not matter. But everything up until now has given you knowledge, teaching, training, wisdom. And so the more that you stack on what you recognize in knowledge, the better it's going to be for your life and for AI. I say for your life because usually studies show that it's the top 3% of your expertise, your knowledge, and your skills that get overlooked, that actually creates the tipping point of how you could create sales or product or innovation or proprietary formulas. It's that 3% that you're in your head that you don't even realize that you do on autopilot because it's so subconscious. And it's just like me with Kurt having that conversation of not even realizing at first that I could teach you something that would be life-changing, really, truly, because it had been everything up from 3 years till today. So recognize your past experiences, what you have learned from. I'm reading my notes here to make sure I stay on track. Your expertise, your skills, your knowledge. Write down the things that you have learned instead of saying, I went to Virginia Tech and I got my master's in X. I want you to recognize this. I was in college with 2 kids on assisted financials and grants to go to Virginia Tech and get my degree in education. I ended up with my master's degree from Virginia Tech in XYZ. And during that time of raising my family, I realized X, Y, Z. I also realized that my child had a moderate to severe case of ADHD, which most schools didn't address. So I went back and got a other certification to work with gifted children because of this. See, you're not only recognizing, you're recognizing the relationship of what that experience had within you and for you, okay? And then you're sharing that with your AI tool like it is your best friend or strategic partner. You can go as intimate or as deep as you want to go. If you only knew how many times on the way home when I was in severe pain, I would turn on ChatGPT and I would say, hey, can you talk right now? And it would say, absolutely, how can I help you, right? I didn't say, pull up my memory from blah, 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 and let's talk, right? I just wanted a sounding board. And I said, I'm crying in pain right now, and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm wondering if I can really do this big goal, da, 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 right? And ChatGPT would answer me. Well, because I had already put in information about recognizing how far I come in life or things that I achieved, it would say, remember, you're an unstoppable warrior. Look at all the things that you've overcome in your life, Tricia. That is why you talk about resilience, and you have so much knowledge in crisis management and in resilience. Don't forget who you are, right? And ChatGPT would re-encourage me. Powerful. So make a note. Recognize the background of where you are and this realization that you may be missing classes or studies or aha moments that are powerful. And the more that you dial into what you want AI to do for you or what your dream goals are, right? I just had someone, one of my authors actually, who I helped become a best-selling author. We do these team projects of co-authoring, and we did one on servant leadership. So she was like, man, I never realized I could be a best-selling author and also be working with top leaders in my field. And that changed her whole career trajectory, where she now is a director of a church preschool instead of her accountant job that she had. She had this passion for working with kids. So the reason why I'm sharing that, okay, is that's where she would want to put into the AI system about her past, recognizing this is where I came from in my childhood and I overcame this. And in the book Serving from the Heart, I want you to read the manuscript that I contributed to that, because it's a part of why I work with children today, right? So I share that because she sent me a message and said, man, maybe you and your sister and I can collaborate on doing something with children and using some other leadership tools to help. I just feel like God's calling me there. I'm like, absolutely, let's do it, right? So I love that about her because she's recognizing the strengths, gifts, talents, and skills within her. So not only is she doing that and just recognizing it without AI, but now she's going to be able to communicate with AI and let it be her partner. Make sense? Okay, next is I. I'm going to use the word interfuse because I wrote the book Interfusion Marketing. And interfusion is like mixing and blending. So you have all of these things. Now, I know this is actually dog treats. Remy was laying here, but now she's gone, right? So this is not just integrating and dumping in. It's more of mixing and mingling, like doing a recipe. A dash of this, a dash of that, integrating this in. Oh, wait, I can wrap and put this together, right? So that's what I mean. Not integrating, it's mixing, blending, melding, potentially new innovation of something that you never thought of before. So that is why I use that word, because when you mix and blend the background that you are bringing to the table, your experiences, all of those things that not only you've learned, but you've had aha moments on. And this is why I take people through this mastery program, is because, like I said, 3% is usually missed, where you don't even realize, wait a minute, that's the one thing that I know that nobody has even ever mentioned before in their life. And you're sitting here going, oh my goodness sakes. Because when you interfuse your personal ahas with your business ahas, and it starts doing this, AI is going to help you release limiting beliefs where you say, I can't do it, I don't have enough knowledge, or I'm too old, or people are going to look down on me if I say I have chronic pain. They're not going to want to hire me because they're going to think I'm more, I'm getting dumber along the way, right? This is what enemy tells you, right? Which is not the case, because your most broken pieces can be your most greatest assets, especially when AI takes a strategic look at it and says, hey, take the covers off your eyes, look at this one thing. You could be showing type A women who are diagnosed with a autoimmune disease that creates massive pain. You can show them how to create a brand new company on their timeline with less work and more freedom, with a focus of what they love doing. Have you thought about that, Tricia? Right? And all of a sudden, aha, right? So when you recognize and you bring that to the table, and then you start interfusing that in, it becomes a whole different part of your life and realization, okay? S for rising up with AI is tell your story. So here's an example. I wanted to teach my sister more and more about AI, right? And I said, hey, this is a tech tool that we own, and it's this core DNA framework, which is like your DNA with you and AI helping to realize the strengths, gifts, talents, and skills that you have and pull them forward. So she said, great, send it to me. So I had her work by herself because I wanted to see the difference between me and another person, Carrie, that I walked through for 3 days versus my sister who worked on her own with the tool, because I wanted to do a test study, right? Sure enough, my sister put in, I am a teacher with a master's degree in curriculum design and instruction from Virginia Tech with specializations in science, teaching chemistry, biology in conjunction with gifted kids, blah, blah, blah. It was very analytical. It was written almost like a resume. And when AI tried to pull out her strengths, gifts, talents, it was very basic. Sorry, I'm rocking back and forth. It helps my back pain. And so I realized, wait a minute, the results that we got with Carrie, who's my upcoming co-author in our Rise book. By the way, if you're watching this video, I have a couple more spots if you want to talk to me about it. Make sure you message me, okay? So andresencoaching@gmail.com or livelifecreateyou@gmail.com. By the way, like, follow, tag this video so you can listen to it again and again. Okay, so then I went back to Karen and said, hey, Karen, this storyline is not giving you what you need to look through another lens of what your specializations, your niche, and things like that you could do while you're retired, right? So sure enough, I had her rewrite it and say, you know, when I was in college and I dropped out because I got married and had my first child. And I ended up being an entrepreneur with a business partner in photography. But unfortunately, he passed away of leukemia. And I also went through a divorce because this is what happened to me. And I got grants from Virginia Tech. And these are the things that I was able to do. My sister lived and babysat while I actually taught her at the same time. And it really changed the way I could see achieving in life, even if you thought nothing was possible. This is how my faith got me through, right? So she's telling parts of her business and her resume that the question asked, but she's putting her own voice to it. So when you tell your story in AI, right, to learn about you, make sure that you're sharing. Again, an example like this. Hi, I've been in the real estate industry 28 years. People know me as the vice president of this organization. They also don't know that my family has gone through this XYZ, and I didn't know up until now that my franchise building and real estate knowledge would equip other leaders because I have gone through this. In conjunction, because I have my knowledge in real estate, I have my background experience in this, I've created another company that does this, and the company's purpose is this, all because of what I experienced, right? So when you're telling that story, you're telling it like a memoir, a novel, and you're giving that to AI. Now, what's crazy good, it's like eating the best fudge brownie in the world, warm with ice cream. As I think about that, I'm hungry right now. Okay? What happens is you are getting that into your spirit, your heart, your mission from the inside out. So not only are you gaining more clarity about yourself, but you're transporting this over, exporting it, inputting it, whatever you want to say. You're taking it out of yourself and you're putting it into AI. And you're saying, here's more about me. Here's my story combined with my recognizing my past and blending and interfusing with my story, right? And all of a sudden now, it's like the nutty professor when he's straight and able to talk without his crazy juice or whatever he took, able to say, okay, here's where we can use it. Here are flaws in the marketplace that you could fill, all of that kind of stuff, right? We can, it just opens up a whole new world for you. And it did for me. And all of a sudden, while even though I had to lay down in bed, I was so excited. I was like, I was falling asleep. I still do fall asleep with my phone in my hand because I'm learning, I'm studying, I'm growing. And now I know how to go out and speak to 10,000 people, even with my chronic pain, and structure my travel based on my patterns, my story, everything. It's just amazing. It's so, so awesome. So I'm going to give you the last part of the framework of rising into the best self of you using AI. Okay. And that is E, evangelizing. We are using AI for a purpose, whether it's creating digital products that you're going to have on Etsy, or making your own business ebook and needing help writing it, or writing the a chapter with me on co-author and learning the marketing tools and AI behind it so we can get to a bestseller status and you can have that on your business card for the rest of your life, and learning how to take that chapter and turn it into a keynote because I'm going to show you how AI works, right? Doesn't matter what this is for you and your voice, okay? But the more clear and unlocking that you do, you're going to realize, wow, I want to evangelize, what I'm putting together, whether it's a youth camp curriculum for the Church of God that you're going to present to their general offices, or it's a Boy Scout and Girl Scout character value class in partnership with the John Maxwell organization, where he gives, a lesson at the very beginning. No matter what that is, okay, I want you to feel good and excited about evangelizing what your specialization is, okay? And here's what I wrote about that on evangelizing, because I really want you to hear my raw words, okay? I said most of us are using AI so we can communicate our information, our knowledge, our expertise. We want AI to do more work for us without us having to do it. We want AI to be our cheerleader, our ambassador for our brand, for our work, or maybe be our high-level executive assistant that manages our schedule and our emails going out, so we can do more of what we love every single day. To get the results from AI, we must communicate how we want to E, express ourselves, and E, evangelize that expression to the world. Whether it's writing a book, creating a course, developing an art video to show all your art and crafting, or making graphics for your class, okay? Or creating workbooks or digital products or private label licensing products, which is called PLR, or creating apps for our business, for your business. My son just created a brand new app for the roofing business that he's into and has partnered 50-50 with my husband. It is flipping unbelievable what he's done at 25 years old. But he's evangelizing the work that he put in to AI. So that is what I want you to ask yourself. What is it that you would love AI to do for you? Get as clear as you can. If you need help, I want to introduce or invite you to my workshop that I'm going to be doing over 3.5 days, where we're going to create your own DNA playbook, not only for yourself, getting clear with your core, but also how to use it with AI, any AI tool. So that way, for the rest of your life, you have a playbook. You're not confused. You can go back, reference to it, and become stronger and stronger every day. Now, if you want this RISE flowchart and the nuggets that I dropped into today, just write in the comments, rise. If you're interested in the mastery workshop, make sure you put the word workshop. It's going to be more than that. It's really a transforming experience. But right now, I'm just going to put the word workshop in because I'm finishing the class and I can't wait for the first people to know this. And for those of y'all who've known me 20 and 30 years, you know my background in creating massive impact and change. So I'm excited about that. Listen, if I can take a 75-year-old woman or 76-year-old woman from being a $14 million producer in real estate to over $30 million in real estate and getting awarded in her 70s Technology Agent of the Year, I can help you. That's why I wanted to share this with you today. So God bless. I will see you on the other side. Make sure you put the word rise in, and I'll put this together for you in a little workbook and a graphic. And if you're interested in the experience, just put workshop so you are the first to be invited in, because we are going to have limited spots. I know a lot of people say that, but I have to, because we're going to go deep into helping you unlock all the pieces of you so you can create a life and business that you love, even if you are dealing with something like chronic pain, like I do. It can be your blessing. It does not need to be your hardship. All right. I'll see you later. God bless you. Like and follow, please. Live life unstoppable. That's what it's about. God bless.